Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, are you working your faith? Now, imagine you haven't seen someone in 6 months and they've lost 50 pounds and you walk up on them and be like, yo, you're looking good. And, in this generation, our response is, yeah, thanks. I've been putting in work. Now, for those who don't understand what putting in work is, it means I've been making sacrifices. I've made adjustments to my life in order to get to a result I was trying to get to. I had to put in work. Now, if you're an athlete, you also understand because during the off season is where you put in the real work that people then see when the next season appears. But now the question becomes, does that only work in the natural or does it also work in the spirit? How is it possible for people to see my spiritual work being done in my faith? Does it happen because we can see it, or is it only happening because I'm telling you, hey, I'm putting my faith to work? Now, James 2:14-18 says, what does it profit, my brethren, if someone says he has faith but does not have works? Can faith save him? If a brother or sister is naked and is destitute of daily food, and one of you says to them, depart in peace, and warm be filled, but you do not give them the things which are needed for their body, what does it profit? Thus also faith by itself, if it does not have works, is dead. But someone would say, you have faith and I have works. Show me your faith without your works, and I will show you my faith with my works. With my works. So I got a question. How strong is your faith muscle? Can I see the definition of your faith muscle like I can see your biceps when you go to the gym? Or are you just telling us, oh, I got faith, but it ain't flexed yet. Just wait a little while longer. I'm not sure if you got a faith muscle if we can't see the work from the faith muscle. Now, I know a few of you be like, okay, what is this faith thing? Don't worry, I got you. Hebrews chapter 11, I'm going to read it out of the Message translation, says, the foundational fact of existence is that this trust in God, the faith is the firm foundation under everything that makes life worth living. It is our handle on what we can't see. The act of faith is the distinguished of our ancestors set out above the crowd. Now listen, faith is something that if you go through the Bible, you can see in a lot of different ways. Hebrews chapter 11, when you get some time, read the entire thing. It helps you out. It gives understanding of the Old Testament. But there's a few people in that chapter that I want to actually help you understand that are showing us how we can work our faith today. Now, for some of you, please understand. Now, just like you go to the gym and there's not immediate results, working this faith is not going to work immediately for everybody. For some of you, the reason it doesn't work immediate is because you're not a babe in Christ, and therefore it takes extra weight in order to grow and develop your muscles further than they currently have. So if you're looking at your friend like, well, God, they walked in church one Sunday and you gave them a prophetic word. I've been here 5 years and you ain't saying nothing. It takes an extra weight because you've been in the game longer. The longer you work out, the more weight you need to see new results. So if you think the same skills from before is going to increase your faith in this season, I'm sorry to tell you, you're going to have to work the faith a little harder in this season. So our first example is in verse 4 of Hebrews 11. It says, by faith Abel brought God a better offering than Cain did. By faith he was commended as righteous when God spoke well of his blessings, and by faith Abel still speaks even though he is dead. Now, the short version is Cain and Abel are brothers. Now, Cain, decided that he wanted to kill his brother Abel because God didn't honor his sacrifice. What sacrifice am I talking about? Abel brought first fruits. Cain brought whatever he decided to bring out of the group and got offended when God said, I'm not accepting that. Bring me the first fruits. But then what's more interesting is that even in death, his voice spoke from the ground. So my question becomes, what is happening with your seed even beyond you breathing? Does your seed still function even past your last breath? So are you planting seeds today that when they prosper, it'll be beyond when you hear? If you need a realistic evidence, y'all, we still talk about Dr. King and how long he been dead? The faith of his works is still speaking beyond his last breath. Then we have verse 7. By faith Noah, when he was warned about things that had not been seen, in holy fear he built an ark to save his family. By his faith, he condemned the world and became an heir to the righteousness that is keeping with faith. Are you ignoring the warning signs that God is giving? Listen, if God is sending warnings and you ignoring them, you're not putting your faith to work. Now, Apostle, as a person that works in the medical field, has warned us multiple times. They running out of medicine, and yet we not taking our health seriously, but then you're going to wonder what happens when the medicine runs out. The difference is if you take the warning now, that when others are sick and they need meds, God can send you in the room and be the healer. But God can't use you as a healer and you need healing yourself. So if you put in the work now, when it's time, you will be able to flex the faith muscle and get someone else healing that needs healing. Do not ignore the warning signs that God has given you in this season. Verse 17 gives us another example. It says, by faith Abraham, when he was tested, offered up Isaac. Now listen, if you don't know about this Abraham and Isaac situation, go read all of it in Genesis. But what I need you to know is, how attached are you to the blessings that God has given you? Now listen, God, I worked for this one. It came in my old age. You finally gave me what I wanted, and you got the audacity to say, give it back? Yeah, I don't know about that, God. Now listen, I work hard for what I got, and you saying to sacrifice it all, give you my whole check? Clean out the bank account, God. You got a ram in the corner somewhere? Like, as soon as I deposit this offering, are you giving it back in 2 seconds, even if he don't? Are you willing to do the faith work and do what he says? And if you think I'm not telling the truth, Genesis 22, Abraham tells the young men, stay here with the donkey. The lad and I will go yonder and worship, and we is more than one. We'll come back. How are you bringing your son back if the instructions is to go sacrifice him over there? He put his faith to work, even in his actions as he went. Action, neighbor, is your faith in work. Now Moses then gives us another example when it says he had grown up and refused to be known as the son of Pharaoh's daughter. He chose to be mistreated along with the people of God rather than enjoy the fleeting pleasures of sin. He regarded the disgrace for the sake of Christ as of the greater value than the treasures of Egypt, because he was looking ahead to his reward. Now, please don't confuse nothing I'm saying with let people walk all over you. That's not what I'm saying. But what I do want you to know is there's times where you just got to take a little bit of disrespect to flex your faith so that God could then move. But it also means that I can't compromise who I am either. Moses was not willing to compromise who he is just to get the gratification of what comes with being Pharaoh's child, Pharaoh's daughter's child. But here's the thing, like, we do it in the real world every day. You know, oh, I got to make myself look a certain way. My hair got to be this way. My skin tone has got to be like this. My posture's got to be like this. Otherwise, I don't get the promotion. I disagree today. That if you flex your faith muscle and if the promotion is yours, God will give it as long as you stay in right standing with him. We're not sacrificing who we are in God to get something from man, because man is not the person that gives it to begin with. So then we have Matthew 14, 22 through 33. Now, y'all, we going towards the offering as soon as I'm done. So brace your mind for where this is going. Matthew tells us, you know, the disciples are in the midst of the sea and the wind is going crazy. Jesus then sent the people away. Jesus went to have prayer by himself. And then he was like, oh, they in the middle of the sea and the wind is doing crazy stuff. Well, let me just walk to them. Where's the people? In the middle of the sea. Did y'all hear me say Jesus started walking? Okay, has anybody walked on water? I can skip a rock across the water, but my human body walk on top of it? That's a different kind of physics class I ain't been to yet. If y'all know where that class at, let me know, okay? So verse 27 says, but immediately Jesus spoke to them saying, be of good cheer. It is I, do not be afraid. Peter answered him and said, Lord, if it is you, command me to come to you on the water. So he said, come. And when Peter come down out of the boat, he walked on water to go to Jesus. Now, Hebrew gives us all of these by faith moments, and they from the Old Testament. Well, here go a New Testament one for you, and this is Dr. B's translation. It says, by faith, Peter stepped out on the command of the voice, who he believed to be Jesus. And by faith, Peter stepped out on the water and was not designed to support him, and believed that by faith it will respond to the voice of the Lord and allow him to walk on what was not walkable and head to Jesus. He believed it was Jesus talking and responded to what he heard. And I know he believed because at this moment he said, Lord, if it is you. But then a few verses later, verse 30 says, but when he saw the wind was boisterous and he was afraid and began to sink, he cried out saying, Lord, save me. There is no longer if. That means I walked far enough that I got close enough that I can see this is Jesus. Hey, save me. That means he walked long enough to change his perception from that might be God to, oh no, that's God. Hey, save me, please, I'm about to drown. And it says immediately Jesus stretched out his hand and caught him. And the response was, oh, you of little faith, why did you doubt? Now, I got a question. If I walked on water long enough to get close enough to Jesus that he could stretch his hand out, because he was still human and God, so his arm is not Stretch Armstrong, okay? It's his normal arm, that he could grab me. Why am I still questioning what's happening? So if we're going to work our faith, why do we get so close and then decide to doubt? I mean, it's right, like the speaker is Jesus. I done made it from all the way over here, all the way to this close to the speaker that I can reach it if I lean out. And now I'm doubting? That's a long walk on water. I passed physics class a long time ago. This is not normal. But now I'm doubting. Why at this point do I pay attention to the wind that has been here all the time? Why does the wind matter now and I'm this close to Jesus? Where is my focus supposed to be? On God and God alone. If you think you're going to flex your faith muscle and you keep looking to your left and your right, you're not flexing a faith muscle. I don't know nobody that go in the gym doing bench press and looking to see what your neighbor doing over there, and you trying to bench this at the same time. You trying to kill yourself. So if you want to stand and walk in this season, keep your focus on God and stop worrying about what's happening next to you. And then the trick of the enemy and all of it, how do you see wind? Somebody help me understand this physics. I can feel the wind. I'm from Chicago. It's the windy city. I know what the wind will move you. Like, it moves a whole person. But I can't see it. I can't see it. I come out the building, minding my business, and boom. I didn't see the wind, but I can feel the wind. How does it say he saw the boisterous wind? The enemy will literally make something look like something in front of you to shift your perspective from God to something else. So in this season, I need you to decide, I'm not looking to what's happening around me. I got tunnel vision between me and God. And if God said, come, I will not doubt, I will just come. You've literally got to work this faith. It's not happening by osmosis. Apostle prophesied and prayed for people this morning that need something tangible. The tangible thing still requires you to do something to get it. Get your affairs in order so the tangible thing, when God gives it, you can get it. It's a two-way street. Now, God, you can open a door. My credit score might be 620, and I need 800 for this, but he can still do it. But you've put things in place to show that you're working your faith. No, I'm not buying these Nikes because they on sale today because I got a plan. No, this next steak is going to be just not today because I got a plan. Where is your part in putting in the work? Now, as long as you put in the work, that's you putting your faith to action. God takes care of his part. We need to do our part, and then God will do the rest. With that comes a seed. Now, I'm not going to tell you what you and the Lord got going on, okay? I will tell you I heard a number, and I said, God, you want me to take that out the drawer? All right, fine. So I'm not even going to say what this is. We're just going to put that in there because that's the seed for my work. Now, as you prepare this seed today, I need you to name this one for real. So I'll tell you that seed says alignment and placement for this next season, because there's some things I'm believing God. Now, I've made some moves in silence that people don't even know about, because I don't need man's ear, I need God's ear. That seed is me saying, God, I've put my faith to work. I've done some things behind closed doors, but here it is too in the church that I'm putting the finances on the table, because finances is a part of what I need for what I'm trying to do anyway. So let me just sacrifice some and then see if you triple that, and the blessings will work. So as you prepare your seeds today, I need you to put your seed to work. And as much as it sounds crazy, like, oh, Dr. B, I ain't got $10,000 to be given to the church. Listen, if $1 is all you got and God knows your position, your dollar is still going to work. This is not a comparison of my 100 to your $2.50. It is my heart, your heart, and God knows the truth. But today you need to put a seed in the ground and name it. For those of you